Hi guys, good evening, happy Monday to you, and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host, Eddie, and in tonight's video I will be doing my episode review and recap of episode 9 of season 5 of Falling Skies. Now, before I begin, as usual with every review video, like I always do, be warned there will be big spoilers discussed ahead, as I will be discussing the most recent episode of Falling Skies. If you are behind a few episodes, or if you are not caught up on the most recent episode, do not continue watching or listening to this review, as it will be full of big spoilers. You have been warned. That being said, very good episode. Very good. You know, that it answered a lot of questions for us. Number one, Lexi did indeed die, sacrificing herself at the end of season 4 when she and Tom went to the moon to destroy the Ishveni's power core. So that happened, and that was confirmed when she suddenly reappeared just outside of their new base, and sure enough, she was one of those Ishveni clone agents that Katie Marshall was in the previous episode before this one. Like, what Weaver's old girlfriend was. You know, she was a replica of the person that Lexi once was, but it wasn't Lexi. Lexi had been dead since the end of season 4, so this was just a clone that the Ishveni had created to infiltrate the second mass and try to find out more about them. Ben risking his life to get as much intel as possible. I mean, wow, kudos to you, Ben, because I salute you for that. He is putting his life, his physical well-being at risk to help and protect the second mass and the entire world, for that matter, because this inevitable final showdown in DC is going to determine the fate of the planet. Whether or not it will fall into the reign of the Ishveni, or if it will return control back to humanity, we're not sure. It all depends on this. And Ben was able to figure out that the Ishveni do indeed worship a higher being, a queen bee, so to speak. They refer to her as the Ishveni queen. We haven't seen what she looks like yet, but I bet you $100 we're going to get a good glimpse of her come the season series finale. God, can you guys believe it? It's already been 5 years since this show first debuted, 5 years into it, and unfortunately, it's coming to an end. At least we'll finally get some answers and closure as to who will finally be the victor in this battle for Earth, this war for Earth. So, as sad as I am to see it go, there's a part of me that's glad that it's finally coming to an end, because I think the show has probably run its course. So, but as I was saying, this episode was great because, it gave us answers, closure on a couple of things, like, did Lexi survive the trip to the moon with her father? She did not. She died, sacrificing herself to save Tom and the Earth, for that matter, by destroying the Ishveni's power core. And the Ishveni, like they did with Katie Marshall, who replicated a clone out of her. And then we also got some answers about the Dornia. It turns out the Dornia, the one that has taken the form of Tom's late wife, Rebecca, is the last of its kind, and has actually given Tom some kind of super weapon to use on the Ishveni queen, and once the queen is dead, it will effectively annihilate every single Ishveni on Earth, killing all of them simultaneously at once, just like that. And it's the job of the second mass, it's Tom's job to deliver that weapon in DC. And where exactly the Ishveni queen was located, I love that clue when Ben is trying to figure out, after listening to his thoughts and touching the Ishveni communication device. The clue was at the foot of the giant. I'm like, the foot of the giant. What could that be in reference to? The Lincoln Memorial. Of course, it's like the big giant statue in DC, one of many, but it's one where he has feet. It's like, of course, the foot of the giant, the Lincoln Memorial. When Ben relays that message to Tom and Dan, they're like, of course, it's the Lincoln Memorial. That's where the Ishveni queen is. That's where they have to focus and concentrate their attack. And thanks to a boost in radio communication, Dingon and other members of the Second Mass have been able to effectively communicate with militias all over the world, but most importantly, militias that are all closing in on DC to assist the Second Mass in one final blow against the Ishveni once and for all. So all of these other militias that are like on the east coast of the United States and possibly coming from the Midwest are all basically closing in on DC, and they will rendezvous with the Second Mass in the next episode. So it's just basically building us up for one final showdown. And with Lexi's arrival, everybody's torn. Even her own parents are suspicious of her, because the whole time I think to myself, there's a slim chance this could be Lexi, that she did indeed survive the explosion on the moon, and she did make her way back to Earth, being rescued by the Dornia, like Tom was. Like, the Dornia confirmed that they were the ones who rescued Tom after all. They're the ones who saved him and got him back safely to Earth so he could reunite with the Second Mass. However, the Ishveni most likely learned that information, and that's how they were able to replicate this clone of Lexi and use that story information against Tom to try to make the Second Mass believer. But unfortunately, that was not the case. And Ben, using a swift, just going by gut instinct, throws the super weapon the Dornia gave Tom at Lexi when she's holding her father's throat. And of course, when that happened, I'm like, yeah, it's not Lexi. She's dead. That's an Ishveni spy. That's an Ishveni clone, just like Marshall. Yep, it's not her. She's dead. And she begins to disintegrate, proving that Lexi has been dead all along. And you can see it still hurts Tom and Anne and Weaver, even though all three of them knew, especially Anne, knew that the possibility of that being Lexi was highly unlikely and very, very slim. And, just, of course, to only add to the problems, who should attack and show up but Pope, Anthony, and their new army of goons. They open fire on the Second Mass. There's a small gun battle between them. Pope kills a couple of guys, and Tom and Weaver kill a couple of Pope's guys. And Pope is just batshit crazy. I don't think there's any turning back for him at all. And Anthony seems to snap out of his crazy mode when he realizes he's opening fire on his former friends and allies, especially when he sees Anne out in the middle of the gunfight. And it's like he kind of snaps out of it, goes to her aid, and then takes a bullet in the shoulder from one of Pope's men, but then Weaver puts down that gunman while Anne quickly gets Anthony inside. Tom notices barrels are right there. He and Weaver shoot at them. They blow up, and it brings like a part of the building down on Pope and his men who were holed up in that position. Now, of course, they want us to believe that Pope is dead. Well, I think I can say with 99% certainty that Pope is not dead. He has been a main character since Season 1. There's no way in hell they would kill him off by simply having him being crushed to death by a falling building. No, he is most likely going to die and reappear suddenly in the next episode, in the series finale. He will show up probably with the intent to finish off Mason, or maybe he'll have some kind of awe-inspiring epiphany where he forgets about his beef with Mason in the Second Mask, and he saves Mason or somebody's life from the Ishveni and sacrifices himself by killing the Ishveni or delivering the super weapon himself. But there is absolutely no way in hell Pope is dead. He survived the debris crushing his men. He managed to escape somehow. He is still alive, and he indeed will return for the next episode. That much I can promise you. But overall, very, very good episode. Really enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm very sad that this is the final season, but at the same time a little relieved because, how long they could expand and continue this story, I'm not sure. But I've enjoyed it. It's been a fun ride. I've really liked it. I have been questioning their character arc regarding Pope, because this whole time I keep thinking we'll see him become a more likable person, a likable character, somebody easier to get along with. Maybe not entirely best friends with everybody in the Second Mass, especially Tom, but they've chosen for him to go down this dark path from which there's almost no turning back. But like I said, he's not dead yet, so when he does return, he'll either die trying to kill Tom, or he'll die sacrificing himself for Tom or one of Tom's sons or somebody in the second mask, and the second mask, and it'll allow the second mask to finally defeat the Ashveni. And based on the warning of the Dornia, who gave the super weapon to Tom, this battle will be the final decisive battle to determine the fate of Earth once and for all, whether or not the Ashveni will continue to rule it, or if the humans will finally win it back. We just don't know. But overall, good episode. Really liked it. Very much enjoyed it. It was interesting to see how everybody reacted to Lexi's return. In fact, the only one who even seemed to want to give her a chance at being herself again was Matt. Poor young Matt, who wanted to see his sister again. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. And I thought to myself, how are they going to test the effectiveness of this new super weapon on an Ashveni when they don't have one captive? Simple. Lexi is part Ashveni, and sure enough, they had to save her from Tom. They had to save Tom from her deadly grip, which is why Ben was able to use the super weapon on her in the first place. So now they know the super weapon works against the Ashveni. It will kill them, but the trick now is going to be attacking the Lincoln Memorial and getting to the Queen Ashveni and wiping her out once and for all, because she must be like the central hive for all of the entire race of Ashveni. Once she dies, all of them should die. It should be like a domino effect almost, hopefully. And how does this episode end? Right before they're about to head to DC, Tom's giving some final words of inspiration, and what's up ahead? Everybody looks up. A gigantic wave, a swarm of freaking black hornets is coming right at him. Cut to black. So I think we're in for one hell of an episode next week. It's a series finale. In terms of character deaths, I see numerous possibilities. Anthony Pope, when he does return, whether or not he'll die by Tom's hand or the Ashveni's hand, we're not sure, but he is still alive for the moment, but he may or may not die in the series finale. I see Weaver as a possibility. I see Hal as a possibility. I see Anne as a possibility for a casualty. Tom, Ben, and Matt just seem very, very unlikely. I don't think they would end the show on such a dark, dark tone with either our main character dying or losing one of his two younger sons. It's possible, though. And please, please, for the love of God, don't let Cochise die. Now that Pope has turned batshit crazy, Cochise has now become my all-time favorite character. Unless that changes with Pope's sudden reemergence in the next episode, in the last episode. But, in terms of character deaths, we could see almost everybody die. Hell, half of the Second Mass and their new allies could die. Although there might be other casualties, because if all of the militias make it to DC on time, maybe those people will die too. And hopefully the Ashveni will die. But who will end up being the victor? We just don't know. We won't know until this Sunday. TNT, tune in for the series and season finale of Falling Skies. Well, guys, thanks so much for tuning in and watching another episode review here on the EdWord. I hope you enjoyed this most recent episode of Falling Skies as I did. And overall, I hope you've enjoyed the series the past 5 years. I hope you're going to walk away with some good memories once it's all said and done. Thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that like button, comment, and share this video. What did you think of this most recent episode overall? What are your thoughts on the series overall, or perhaps just this season? Who's your favorite character and why? What do you think we're going to see or what will happen in the series finale? Sound off down below. If you feel like I missed or glossed over anything, please let me know down below. Let's be respectful and courteous of one another's opinions and beliefs, of course, and let's try to keep the comment section spoiler free. Thanks again for tuning in, guys, and of course, do not forget to tune in TNT this coming Sunday for the series finale of Falling Skies. Of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.